Welcome back everybody to another video. In this video, we're doing front rotors and pads on this Jeep Cherokee. We're gonna stop super good. These are the best brakes on the market. Anyways, they're the same ones that are on my twin turbo Mustang. They're the carbon ceramic brake pads and the like nickel plated or something carbon steel rotors drilled and slotted. So she'll never have a problem flying off the road. It'll stop perfect. So we're gonna go through, like, share, subscribe. Please help me out with this algorithm. Put a comment below and let's get into it. Step 1, jack up the vehicle and pull the front wheels off. The brake pads are PowerStop Z36-477. The rubber inserts for the caliper is H759K. I didn't have to search these, it just came as part of the kit because I bought the rotor and pad kit and it came with these. Here's the two part numbers for the rotors, AR8722XL and XR for left and right. Pop the hood. And we need to open the brake reservoir. You just put a screwdriver in, pop this little clip out of the way, and then you're going to just lift this guy off, because what's going to happen is we're going to compress the caliper, which is going to push more fluid in here. This thing's already overflowing, so I'm going to put some rags in here, paper towel. I'm going to soak some of this up. You don't have to, but I did. I soaked up all the old fluid, which was like brown and nasty. And then I used a microfiber rag with brake cleaner. Cleaned as much as I could. You know, I didn't want to spend an hour cleaning it, but now I put the new fluid. It's perfectly clean. You can see the bottom. These things are marked driver side and passenger side, so it's really hard to screw it up. You can use a flathead or a pry bar or pretty much whatever you got. You want to jam it in here and you want to pry to compress the piston in here. So you jam it in between the rotor and the pad and then squeeze it. And it's overflowing a lot, which sucks. You need to spray this with brake cleaner or it will eat the paint away. So it's not instantaneous, but you need to spray it as you're doing it, like right now. Use a 1/2-inch socket, remove both of these nuts, and then you can pull the caliper off and get it out of the way. To get these out, these ones have like no lube, whatever, but you just push and then pull it out on both sides. Push it through, pull it out. And then we have these new rubber pieces, so you're really just going to jam it through the hole and until it pops out. And then throw this in the trash. Now you need one of these. And we're going to go in the hole on the caliper. And we're going to get all the nastiness from like 30 years of garbage. And we're going to get it out. Pretty much just clean it till the nasty dust stops coming out. And it's nice and shiny inside, and we're done. These pins are 100% dry for some reason. Not sure why. It looks like they put lube inside, but not inside of there. So we're gonna start off by using a flathead screwdriver, fill in the grooves inside here with high temperature wheel bearing grease. Or you can use ceramic grease or it has to be high temp. Get a decent chunk, put in there, then you squeeze and roll so it's all the way around the inside. Nice and good. Now that there's a decent amount inside, we're going to put this back in the caliper first. You have your little boot all lubed up. So you're sort of just going to feed it through until you get to that centerpiece that's flat, and then it'll sort of lock in. So if you pull it both ways, right there, half's on the inside, half's on the outside. I'm going to jam this back inside. And now we just grab the other boot, put it on this side, and then I'll show you how to put the pins in. So now we're going to put this in. We're going to start and get it in the groove. You might have to spin it a little bit. Okay, so see how it's in the groove? It's attached. So then we're going to plug the hole on the other side, and we're going to push it through. And then it should be in the groove on both sides, and it should move super easy without really trying. So then we do it on this side now. Get it jammed in the groove first, and then plug the other side, and then squeeze your fingers together on it. And that's all there is to that. So this car's got some other problems. I'm not going to replace a knuckle. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to weld this in and then use a sander flapper disc to make it the way it should have been before, like this. So we have a little bit here, which isn't horrible. We have a lot of bit here, and we have a lot of bit here. So the problem is it doesn't allow the brake, the caliper to even slide to push on the brakes. I was wondering why the brakes on this thing suck so bad. It probably wasn't even the brakes. It was more the fact that the caliper wasn't squishing the rotor. So I'm going to clean this all off nice and clean with a wire wheel. And then I'll weld it. I'll show you that. And then I'll grind it. And I'll show you that. And then if you have the same problem, which you probably will, then you know how to fix it. Just grab the rotor, and it should just slide straight off, and you can throw it in the trash. You want the weld to stick out past the area you want it to be, so when you grind it down, it turns into smoothness. So I'm using here is a 60 grit flapper disc, and this is what I'm going to use to slowly bring down the weld and make everything flush and pretty. So as you can see now, it is flat. So now the brake pad will just slide along it. Now I have to grind this top one. But yeah, don't take any material off of the spindle. I just pulled the rust off, but 60 grit's not enough to like shred away at it. If you had a 40 grit, don't use 40, it's too much and you probably take too much material away. But yeah, I just did enough to take the rust off. You can still see some of the rust sticking through here. So nice and smooth, no divots, no nothing. You can barely see where I welded it. There's like a little outline. But anyways, I'm going to do this and then we'll start putting this thing back together. We got it all looking sexy. Alright, let's put the rotor on. Spray the front and the back of this rotor with brake cleaner to get the protective film off. When you're picking the brake pads, you want to pick it where this piece is down. So this one is the inside because it has this weird thing, and you want that to sit on there like that. So when you're picking them, you can pick the wrong one or you can pick the mix matched ones. So you want to make sure you do it the right way. Now you're going to push this inside of the piston. So that locks into there. And this is the bottom of the caliper. So both of the double grooves are going to be on one side. The other side is single grooves, which is the top. The top is a single groove. Bottom is double groove. For this other brake pad, on the outside you have nipples. The nipples go in these holes. And the curved piece faces out. And then all you really do is like push it down. And make sure the nipples line up. So you might have to scoot it over a little bit. But it should sit like that. Make your life easier. Just put 2 lug nuts on to hold the rotor so you know it's 100% flush. And then you're going to need to come in here and make sure the pin's out farther than the bracket on the top. and the bottom so that everything lines up. And then once everything lines up, give it a little tap tap like so. Make sure everything's seated, make sure it's in the groove. Now you can see why, if there's some kind of divot, the rotor or the pads won't slide, because they sit on there like that. Grab the 2 bolts, clean the threads with a wire wheel, slide it through, and you want to get a bunch of threads in by hand so you know you're not cross-threaded, because if you cross-thread it, your life will suck. So just get it in as much as possible by hand. Grab your ratchet now. Should still be pretty easy to tighten it. If you have problems and you need to use a thread chaser, then that's something you might need to do. I used the bleeder valve here, and I had somebody inside, and we bled all the yucky yellow fluid out, so until it came out clear. And then pumped the brakes, made sure it felt tight, and it feels much better now. At this point we're done. We're just gonna remove these 2 lug nuts, put the wheels back on, tighten all the lug nuts, torque them down to 100 foot-pounds, and then we're gonna go on a test drive. Hopefully this video helped you out, save you some money, let you do it yourself. Till next time, wrench on. Don't forget, like, share, subscribe, help me out with this algorithm. It's murdering me, and I'll see you in the next one.